Hey guys, it's me, and I just watched Carson's video, so how am I? I'm okay. I have a lot going on, and I thought I'd make a quick video because it's funny how the day goes by, and sometimes all these really heavy, interesting things happen, and there's just so much going on that, I sort of forget them. I forget stuff anyway, but I just remembered something really interesting that happened. So there's a lot going on in my life right now. One of the things that's happening is I'm finishing paramedic school, regardless of whether I get to use it or not. That's a whole other story, but I'm finishing paramedic school. So I don't know if you know much about the types of people, mostly men, that choose to go into the fire service, but you can imagine that, a lot of them are fairly, fairly butch and macho. And, well, let me just talk about this particular group of people. A little bit on the young side, 20-ish. And I guess I don't really know how to describe them, but well, let me just say the conversation started. We were in a lab where we have mats on the floor, and we got dummies, not real people, but dummies laying around that we can pretend all sorts of horrible things have happened to them, and then we come in and do what we call a mega code where everything goes wrong. Anyway, the topic came up, and I think somebody transported a trans person, and they weren't completely juvenile about it, but they weren't exactly being sensitive either, and mostly what they were being was confused. So I listened to the conversation because I sort of came in not in the very beginning, so I wasn't sure what was happening. But as I listened, I could tell clearly that they had no idea what trans was, and how to deal with patients that their gender might be ambiguous or difficult to determine, and there was sort of, it was getting a little bit uncomfortable. Because it seemed like they were starting to make fun, a little bit and play around in a way that was not appropriate, and I saw it as a teachable moment. And I just got really bold, and I'm definitely older and more educated, and I felt really comfortable. And if that meant I, was going to out myself or put myself in a position where people might start to question what's up with me, that was totally fine. I just felt really, I don't know, I felt really powerful, and I basically just started to interject into the conversation, start to, use correct terms, make some suggestions about maybe asking the person what pronouns they would like them to use, how they would like to be referred to, or simply just asking them, what is your name? Which we're supposed to do anyway, right? For documentation. Anyway, so it was getting clearer and clearer that they were all men. These men had no idea what trans was, or they just could not relate at all as to how somebody would be born a certain gender, but or born into a body that is perceived as, say, female, and feel male and truly be male. But so I used all sorts of different explanations, and it got a little bit humorous because I thought the best way to handle it, I just kind of improvised, and I ended up standing up in front of them, and I said, okay, I don't know if I can duplicate this, but it was great. I said, all right, let's just use me as an example, because, I'm fairly butch, and it's sort of funny because everybody sort of knows that, they know my birth name, they relate to me as I am female, but I am still, sort of one of the guys, and I do a very masculine, job that was traditionally a male job. So they relate to me in sort of like both ways. So, when I say something like, like take me for example, because, I'm pretty butch, it's sort of funny because, they know I'm okay with it. And I started to describe, gosh, I wish I could duplicate this, but I don't even know how to explain this, but they didn't understand, first of all, how somebody could be born female but actually feel male, or vice versa. And they furthermore were confused about sexuality. So I did my best to explain that the two, gender and sexuality, have nothing to do with each other. And so they asked me, well, if you like girls, which they know I do, but you feel male, does that mean that you're gay? And I said, in the body that you see that I have, people refer to me as female. I like girls, that makes me gay in the eyes of the world. However, if I were to take hormones and do surgery and make my body look more like my brain feels, my choice is I still like women, but you would see me as heterosexual. And they just couldn't get it. They couldn't wrap their minds around it. And then on top of that, somebody said, well, if you're gay now, doesn't that mean that you'd be gay when you transition? So it got really, really complicated, but I don't know if anything was resolved other than we had a conversation about there are people out there whose gender may not be, they may be perceived as a gender that they don't feel that they are, and the best way to go about it is to simply ask them their name and refer to them using their name, and just give them the same amount of respect as I hope that they would any other patient. But it was just interesting that I was so willing to just, stand in front of everybody and start to interact with them in that way, because I could have cared less, really, what they thought. And I don't know, I just felt comfortable doing it, so it was interesting. I used a to help them understand what it feels like to be, because none of them could understand being in the wrong body. They think that, somebody said, well, that's just crap. And I said, well, let's just say that your men have breasts, right? Men have a chest, and some of them are more, especially when they get heavy, their chest gets enlarged. But let's just say that you're a man who was born with breasts, full-blown breasts. You would want those removed, wouldn't you? Because they just don't go with your body. Or imagine a woman who's born with a penis. She would want that removed, wouldn't she? So looking at it as a physical, mutation, they could understand why, well, if you have 3 arms, you'd want to have that arm removed. I don't know if that helped either, but it was just interesting that I was willing to, get out there and do the best I could to make a difference. So anyway, like I said, I'm going through a lot of changes. I'm seriously thinking about going back to school, which is causing all sorts of upheaval, but I think that I need to be out doing emergency medicine. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do that as a firefighter medic, so I don't know how I'll afford it, but I'm looking at it again right now. So just want to say hey, and I'm still lurking. I'm just busy and not making videos every day. I hope this made sense, you guys. Take care all. Bye bye.